Hi, I'm Captain Alfonso, and this is the Atlantic Marine Podcast, Season 3, Episode 2. And today we have a very special guest. Harold is a radio personality for 94.9. You guys might hear him with Enrique Santos. He does an amazing job. But other than that, he's an avid fishing guy. He loves his boats, and that's what we're talking about today. Harold, welcome aboard.
Well, thank you for having me.
Harold, how's it going? Tell us a little bit about your boat and your personal experience with boating. What boat do you have? What motors? Let's get into it.
Well, I currently have a Grady-White 330 Express. It's a
Okay.
cabin cruiser with outboards, twin 350 Suzuki's
Nice.
with the dual props.
Nice.
And as for that's one boat. I have a smaller one.
Yes, you do. You have a little whaler.
A little 13-foot whaler, but that's more like a golf cart. You know, that's nada más para dar vueltica and just you know,
Nice.
pull up to little places. But yeah, the Grady-White, I've had this boat for I would say a good like 6-7 years around there.
6-7 years. And
Yeah.
how's the experience with the Grady-White? What do you think about the boat?
I love the Grady-White in particular because the way it handles. It's a heavy boat,
It is.
but it rides like a Cadillac on the water. You know,
Does.
when you go over a wave, you know, or you know, it's just smooth. It's a smooth ride, which is what I look for in the big boat. You know.
And I noticed that is a cabin cruiser.
Yes.
Air conditioning,
Yes.
a refrigerator, shower, little room, right? You have a little bed and everything. Really, really nice setup.
Yeah. There's a bed on the front, and then there's a bed underneath. When you walk in, there's another small.
Kind of
bed
like underneath the driver.
Exactly, yeah,
There's
exactly.
There's a little bunk bed. Bunk bed or
No, it's like a small bed for two people.
Correct.
Two people can sleep in there.
Correct. Generator.
Yes, generator.
The generator that you have is a Panda
Yes, Fisher Panda. It's diesel.
diesel.
I actually just replaced it not that long ago. We went because the boat and these diesel generators, and I know a lot of people, majority of people have on their boats, they have gas generator.
Correct.
But the diesel generators, I mean, this thing's been kicking. The boat's 2004. This thing's been kicking till just recently, so it lasted about 20
It was
years.
the original generator of the Grady-White.
Yes. So it got to the point when every time I showed up to Fisher Panda when I had to do the service or I needed to get some parts, you know, just you have to do service.
Maintenance.
People, you have to do service on your equipment.
Listen to him.
You can't just expect for it, you know, for work forever and only call the mechanic when it breaks. No, you have to do your annual service. So when I'm doing service, the guy keeps telling me, he's like, "Hey, by the way, you know, some of these parts are obsolete. We don't carry them anymore." So I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I think this is the time, and we got a good deal. I actually reached out to you, Alfonso.
Thank you.
Alfonso reached out, and he, you know, through his contacts there, he got the generator. We got it installed, and it's been working great.
Yeah, we are a Fisher Panda dealer. So if you guys need parts or a brand new generator, hit us up. We'll take care of you. Grady-White 33 Express. Big boat. You got twin 350 Suzuki's.
Yes.
What are you doing with that boat as far as mile per hour, cruising? Do you know more or less?
Well, that boat, I am going about, I would say about 43, 44 on the top end. You know, full throttle, you know. Pero, so before we get into the Suzuki's, prior to that, I had the Yamahas.
Okay. What Yamahas did you have?
I had the Yamaha 350s.
The famous Yamaha 350s.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And, you know, unfortunately, you know, they had some problems with a specific model, that generation of the motor, and had issues. So, you know, I ended up having to replace the motors, which I did at Atlantic Marine.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
No problem.
You guys did a great job, installed them, and I know you got to say how it is. So once I have these, you know, and I'm comparing, you know, Yamaha 350s in comparison to the Suzuki 350s.
Okay.
When I had the Yamaha 350s, my cruising speed was about 25 miles an hour.
Okay.
And the high output on it, I would go 44, maybe 45, you know, depending. You know, that's when you start trimming those motors up,
Yeah.
and you're pushing it to the limit, and you got everyone on the boat leaning forward like if it's a bobsled. That, you know, I was getting 45.
I got that. I had the pleasure of driving a Grady, and I've gotten your Grady up to 45, 46 with 8 people on board.
Okay. So then now that I have the Suzuki 350s, my cruising speed went up.
That's what really matters.
The cruising speed now is about 34, 35.
Nice.
And it rides smooth at that, and the fuel consumption is actually better than I had when I had with the Yamahas, because the Yamahas were V8s.
That's right.
That's particular model, and the Suzuki 350s are V6.
Correct.
But they do have the dual prop on the lower unit, which helps out a lot because the boat jumps. It has torque.
It does.
So the boat, as soon as you kick it in gear, the thing jumps out of the water quick, and you're able to maintain. And it maintains a higher cruising speed. And even believe it or not, even maneuvering the boat when you're trying to park it, even though I have two motors,
it's more aggressive.
Yeah, the dual props do. I feel the difference with the dual props.
They grab more. I really recommend the dual props. Dual props on any big boat, like the Hydra Sport. There's a 33 Hydra, which is very similar to the Grady.
It is, yes.
Very heavy. You got the Whalers as well. Anything 30 feet and up, I recommend dual prop. I think that instead of putting 3 motors, putting 2 motors with dual props is gonna be the same, if not better.
Now, I'll tell you this. I know a lot of people in the boating industry, and I had a friend that he went from 2 motors to 3 motors.
Okay.
And when you do that, take note of this, mi gente. Apunten esto.
Okay.
Your insurance skyrockets. Because once you go to 3 motors, you're now considered a high performance boat, and the insurance went from paying $3,000 and change to paying close to $9,000. So it almost tripled, doubled, almost tripled what he was paying on insurance.
Yeah.
So be sure that it is what you want, and understand also when it comes to maintenance, you're gonna have to pay 3 times the maintenance, not 2 times the maintenance, And everything else, if something breaks. So yes, you can get 700 horsepower out of 2 motors, or you can get 300s. You get 900 horsepower, but at the end of the day, the way these Suzukis are designed, the fuel efficiency, with the dual props, and since they're V6, it's just a better all around. Setup on a boat, unless you have like a 40-something foot boat that requires you to have 3 motors.
100%. Yeah.
But I'm waiting on the day that Suzuki decides to make something bigger than a 350.
I'm probably sure they're gonna come out with that 400.
You think?
Yeah.
Are they gonna put triple props?
I want to know if it's gonna be still V6 or V8.
No. Triple props.
No, I don't know about triple props. The boat's not gonna go forward nor reverse. It's not gonna know what to do, because remember, they're counter props.
Yeah.
So when you
listen, we don't have third one. We don't have that problem with the Ninja blender.
Damn. Let's make sure we trademark that idea, Michael. Please, triple prop boats. We might have something there. Grady-White. One of my favorite boats. I've driven many Grady-Whites, and every time I do, it's a pleasure driving them, whether it's a 20-foot with a single 200 or the Grady 37 with the triple 300s. Now, people go, 3 motors are better than 2. Not necessarily, because you got to remember, you are jumping from 750 or 700 horsepower to 900, but you're also adding 600 and something pounds more. So the weight to horsepower ratio, is it there? Are you getting that much more? Is it worth the maintenance? Is it worth the insurance? Definitely something that you pointed out, that it's something I really think about. I like 400s. I like the 400 idea. I think that's really nice. And Mercury has the V10 400s, which they're doing good, because a lot of people are getting out of that whole triple motor setup. No, just put twin 400s. I got 800 horsepower. It's basically what? You're going to beat me by 3 or 4 miles per hour? That's fine.
Listen, at the end of the day, cruising at such a high speed.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're like, participating in a poker run, or unless you're, if you're like a professional.
You're beating up the boat. You're beating up the motor.
Yeah.
The people can't even move around the boat. Now you're in such high speeds. You just want to get.
And not only that, you're also burning fuel like crazy. And I don't know about you, but fuel really hasn't dropped in price when it comes to the Rec 90.
No. This new administration better do something about that. Drop down the fuel, man. Drop down the fuel. Garmin's. How do you feel about them?
I love it.
Yeah.
So not to bash anybody.
No. We're not here to bash
anybody, because every system has its own his own thing. You know, I've had Ray Marine. I used to have it before the Grady. I used to have a Sea Ray, 29 Amberjack, with inboard motors. But there I had Ray Marine. Ray Marine was cool for what I was using it for. I like more Garmin just because Garmin has a lot of you can attach a lot of stuff to it.
Friendly user.
Yes, it's user friendly.
User friendly. Sorry.
It's user friendly. I actually have on mine the autopilot, which is phenomenal.
Yes.
The autopilot that actually turns the boat and drives the boat. Like you set the location. Hey, I want to go here, and it'll on a normal GPS or back then it used to just do a straight line. Whether you're going over land or you're going over whatever, it's just a straight line, point A to point B. But with the Garmin system that they have, I think it's called True Blue or something. I don't know what it's called, but the Garmin system it knows the information on your boat that you put in the settings, and it'll tell you, okay, go this way, turn here, turn here, turn here, turn here, and it'll draw that line, and you can edit that if you don't want to go that route. You can edit it.
You can bypass it.
You can do that, but once you put it on autopilot and you say follow route, it now follows that same route to the T. So it's kind of crazy. Like you're sitting there and the boat will do a 90, because it's calling, let's say you pull up, you got to make a 90-degree turn. It'll do a 90-degree turn and you don't have to touch the steering wheel or nothing. But at the same time, if you want to take over, it's just as soon as you touch the wheel, you start spinning the wheel, it'll disengage and it'll let you drive the boat, on your own. So I think it's phenomenal.
You like your Garmin?
Yeah, I like Garmin. There's a lot of cool stuff that you can do that with other GPSs also. But I like how it works. It's just it's a very user friendly. I have the Twin 12. I have
the 1243s.
No, I have the 7612.
Yeah.
I have the model before the new one that came out.
Okay.
So
And they look good. I mean, I've used them before. It's perfect.
Yeah, they work great. I control I have one set up with the music, and that way, I do everything through there. The only thing I haven't been able to do yet, and I've tried, is I want to watch the Dolphin game on my Garmin.
What do you want to watch that for?
I like the Dolphins.
Man, I've been hurting with the Dolphins since I was born.
I know, but it's still fun. I watched the UM game. There you go.
Okay, there you go.
Watch the UM game. You're out on the sandbar on a Sunday, and you put it on the screen there, and it's right in front of you, and you're not missing it. Yeah. So, but there is. I think the newer ones have like
Garmin,
HDMI.
make it work.
No, the newer ones. Yeah, the newer ones have like the HDMI input, and you can connect something to it. But they should have it to where, like I said, like if it was a Fire Stick TV or something that you just
yes, I agree with you.
With apps.
It might need a satellite, or it might have to work with the antenna. I don't know, but they probably have something like that already. We got to look into that. That'd be nice to put. Let's upgrade your Garmin's, and then we can connect and watch the game.
Oh yeah.
At the sandbar.
Yeah.
Sound system. You got JL.
I got JL.
Ooh.
I got JL. So I'm running a Fusion radio.
Okay.
With I have one amplifier. It's a 8-channel.
Okay.
8-channel amplifier. I'm running the 6.6, I believe.
6.5.
Yeah, the 6.5, the round ones.
And some 8s.
And some 8. So I have 4, 6. The way my boat has originally the boat on the T-top in the back, towards the back of the T-top, it had these 2 old 1987 Chevy headlight type looking things.
Okay.
So I took those out and I turned those into speakers, speaker boxes. So I just, made the hole, whatever, put them in there. So I have 2 6.5s pointing back, and I have 2 6.5s pointing forward.
Yes.
Up there. And then what I did was down by the steps on the sides, right below the gunnel, I put the 8.8s. And with that 8-channel, I bridged the 8.8s. So I get a little bit more power out of them.
Sounds great.
Oh man, phenomenal!
It does the job.
Yeah, and it's not because I see boats all the time and they have I'm sorry, but they have 20 something speakers,
Plus.
And I'm just like, why? But that's okay if.
In Miami, other than Miami, manufacturers, be like, hey, you need more speakers on the boat. They're like, why? Well, you haven't been down here. This down here is like a nightclub on the water.
Oh, it is
all the time.
It is. So that's why it's not about the amount of speakers you have. It's about the right configuration of speakers.
Correct.
So you can go with 6 speakers and it can sound phenomenal, or you can go with 16 speakers and it doesn't sound as good.
Yeah, your amp is trying to push all these speakers and you don't have enough amp to push the speakers. And then what are you really doing? You're just making holes on the boat. This is what you're doing.
I try not to make too many holes, and that's why I stuck with that setup. And for my boat and for what I need it for, it works great.
Yeah, less is more, guys. Don't put so many holes on a boat.
Unless it's Black Friday, then you just go ahead and buy everything.
The steering, C-Star?
Yes, C-Star steering. That does so part of the autopilot. Part of the autopilot, I have the hydraulic pump that connects to the Garmin and all that stuff. So it's a C-Star.
So your power assist.
Yeah, there we go. That's what it's called. It's a power assist. So, mi gente, when you're buying an autopilot, don't just buy the autopilot. You need to have an auto assist, especially if you're running big motors.
Yeah, the power assist is what's going to help it and helps the autopilot and everything, correct?
What it does, it also protects your autopilot because the autopilot has its own pump and it will move the motors. Pero if you put an steering assist, it will help the autopilot not work as hard, so the longevity of your equipment in general will last you a lot longer.
Yeah. Really nice bow thruster.
Yes, the Grady that I have does have a bow thruster. It is nice to have.
Did that come from factory? Or?
From factory.
Okay.
From factory.
I love that. It helps me out a lot.
Oh, yeah. When you pull up to some places and you're like...
Windlass in the front?
Yes, windlass in the front. It's Lumar, I believe. Lumar.
You put some new rope and chain?
Yes, I did. I went to my boy here,
Nico El Capitan.
El Capitan. We went over there and got some rope and chain.
Nice.
I ended up with 30 feet of chain. And some people, why so much?
Explain why.
Why so much?
Why?
I don't need 30 feet. You don't need 30 feet of chain. But what happens? Where do we go? We go to the sandbar.
Correct.
And what happens when you go to the sandbar? You throw the anchor out. So if you don't have a long chain, what the chain does, so the purpose of the chain, for one, is to help you set the anchor. So if the anchor, if you don't have a chain and you throw the anchor, the rope is going to be in this angle.
Yeah.
So the anchor is not, it's not, digging as much.
Correct.
Now, if you have chain, it weighs down. So when you're pulling it more flat on the surface, and it creates the anchor.
It makes it dig.
It makes it dig, and it's a lot easier to set it. So.
Cool, man. Cool. Anything else you want to talk about the Grady? Oh, you did your boat doesn't sit on the water, but it has a lift.
Yes.
Talk to me about that lift.
So I have a Deco, something that I bought out of the boat show. They came installed it, a while back. And then at a boat show again, I like going to boat shows. The boat show again, I bumped into these guys. They're called Premier Remotes. We got the contact. Actually, Alfonso, you're going to be a dealer for that.
Yeah.
We have the context for that. But what it is that now with an app, I control the lift.
That's awesome.
Wherever I'm at. So before, I would have to pull up to the house and kind of like hover around there and wait for the lift to go down.
So you would get close enough where it could
read the controller
to bring it down.
And there are times when it worked whenever the hell it wanted to. Sometimes it didn't, and sometimes I had to pull up and
that's annoying.
Yeah, and pull up and say, tell the wife, hey, go get off the boat, press the button so that it goes down because the remote wasn't working correctly. But when with this, it's an app and you control it. You can be anywhere. Hey, the other day. My mechanic one of my mechanics came by to do something on the boat, and I told him, I'll lower it for you. And I'll open it up.
That's awesome.
And it lowers, and you control it. So it's awesome because of that,
So I could go to your house and then go, hey, Harold, lower it, and you can be anywhere.
And I can lower it at the same time if it also has notifications. So if someone lowers my lift, it'll tell me right away, boom, somebody's moving your lift.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Do you have to have some certain connectivity? Meaning, do you have to be connected to Wi-Fi?
Wi-Fi.
Okay, so
that works with Wi-Fi.
You have to have Wi-Fi.
Yes. So you have to have Wi-Fi in your backyard. And if you don't have Wi-Fi in your backyard,
I don't know what you're doing.
What are you doing with your life?
5G, bro. 5G.
Now I'll tell you. There's another thing that I have on the boat, which works very well. I have Lock Marine.
Oh, talk to me about Lock Marine.
Lock Marine, Eric, super buena gente. If you ever meet him,
shout out to them. We are a Lock Marine dealer. As a matter of fact, I have Miguel Tebusco's boat, the Reef Runner 34, coming in to install a lock marine?
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you right now.
Tell me.
The lock marine is like, remember guys back in the day, the low jack? I mean, they still sell it, but
Yeah.
it's like a low jack system for your boat. So not only does it provide security in your boat, it gives you on the app, and you can have more than one boat on the app. So it's like, oh no, you can have several boats on there, and you can monitor all the boats.
Cool.
And it's you buy the system, and then you have to get the other accessories to connect to it. So one of the accessories that you have is the high water float. So if you have your boat that's sitting on the water, it has a float that's it's not even connected to a bilge pump. It's a float that once water reaches that level, then it turns on and it tells you, hey, you have a lot of water in the bilge, which is very important because if you keep your boat on the water and it rains a lot and your bilge pump doesn't bilge,
It kills your batteries too.
if your batteries die, this has his own system. So and even if your batteries are dead, it still has its own system. It has an emergency backup. So what it does is and it has I think it's a 4G LTE system in it, whatever. So you don't need Wi-Fi for this in particular. No. It'll let you know, hey, you have too much water there. If your batteries are low on voltage, it'll say, hey, it'll tell you if you connected your boat to shore power, if you're connected to shore power or not.
Is there a GPS tracking too?
Yes, there's a GPS tracking, and there's also the ability to geofence.
Gotcha.
So let's say you say when this boat leaves this area,
it'll send you
a notification. Hey, where's the boat? And not only that, but you can also go back and see where your boat's been. So you can go back and see, okay, and it keeps pinging. En español suena raro, pero it keeps pinging where your location, your boat, and then you can see actually. So let's say somebody steals your boat.
Yeah, right away.
You can know where exactly your boat is, and you can see what route they took to get there, and you can go find your boat. Not only that, but you also, you know how you have on your windows in your house the little security things. The also,
ring.
No, not the ring. The little security on the window. So when the window opens.
Yes, that little magnetic.
So they have.
Once it does this,
they have something similar to that for that, and I have one on my cabin door.
Yes.
So if someone opens my cabin door, I know, and I'll get a notification.
Right
hey,
away.
Somebody opened up your cabin door, or if it's open or if it's closed, it'll let me know if it's open or closed. So these are all good things. So it just gives you, especially when you don't have the boat behind your house or you have it elsewhere.
Or if somebody is using your boat, that you lend them to them, and hey, like your son, let's say you have a daughter, son, a friend, whatever, and use the boat, but don't go past Haulover, please, okay? Because over there, I don't want you to go.
Well, no, you can set up a geofence.
You set up the geofence
and say, hey, where you going?
Where you going?
It's a very, I think it's really not that expensive.
No,
it's not that expensive. It's affordable. I believe if you have a boat, you should have that because Absolutely. It gives you a peace of mind to know where your boat's at, to know the status of your boat, whether it's batteries, whether it's your bilge, whether if someone opened up your door, and those little alarm things, you set up multiple. You can put one if someone opens up the battery compartment.
Yeah,
and those are things that you want to see because. Let's be honest. There's people out there that they love going in people's stuff and stealing things. So it just it gives you a sense of peace of mind.
Peace of mind, yeah, security, sense of security. Not only that, it tells you who's using your boat and how they're using it. If that happens, for example, we have a good friend. His name's Alain. We got to geofence him. We got to make sure that we put him at 30 miles an hour. Easy, Alain. Easy with the Grady. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about? I think that's it. We pretty much covered up the whole Grady-White.
Yeah, boating. Well, you know what? This boating season is coming.
Yes.
Be ready.
Yes.
Do not wait.
Maintenance.
Do not wait.
Repower.
Do not wait.
Put a sound system.
Do not wait and show up.
That's right.
And be like, I want motors. I want them yesterday.
Now you gotta wait.
Doesn't work like that.
Yeah, our waiting list is going up.
Yeah, so make sure that if you're interested in getting a repower, or you should service your boat every year, regardless if you hit because it's only been it's every 100 hours. No, it's every 100 hours or
every year.
Every year you should service your boat every year, regardless if you used it or not. Just because stuff corrodes, and you don't want something to break and then make a bigger expense for you in the future.
Yeah, and one more thing, that boat's been to Bimini multiple times.
Oh yeah,
I've taken it to Bimini.
Yeah.
Question: what's the furthest you've been with that Grady?
I went to Freeport.
How was that?
Oh my God.
Good or bad?
Oh my God.
You ran into some nasty water?
So what happened was it was a long weekend, and we decided, hey, let's go somewhere else besides Bimini.
Yeah.
Let's go to Freeport. Freeport's about 90 miles.
Okay.
It should take me about 3.5 hours to get there.
Correct.
On a nice day. Honestly, on a nice day, 2.5, 2:45. But let's put 3. It took me 8 hours to get there. So what happened was that we had sent the wives on a flight.
Smart.
And let the guys, dog it out on the way there.
Cool.
And when I look at the weather report, it said 2 to 3 feet. And for Grady-White, 2 to 3 is fine.
That's fine.
When I get out there, it wasn't 2 to 3. It was 2 to 3 on top of 2 to 3s on top of 2 to 3s.
6 to 8.
So, yeah. And it was so bad that I couldn't plane.
No.
I had to go about 10 to 12 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And it took me 8 hours to get there. And then when it was so choppy that since we're not planing, you're kind of going up and down with the waves. Luckily, we had Garmin's with an autopilot, and we just set the course and said, you know what? And we sat in the beanbags in the back, kind of like looking up, to the side.
Always looking out.
Yeah, you always autopilot. Mi gente, this is not a Tesla. You don't just get in it and set it and go to sleep.
No.
You're not supposed to. You're not even supposed to do that on a Tesla, but that's what people do.
Exactly.
But the autopilot is más para, so you don't have to like sit there and fight the waves when you're driving, and let the boat do it for you, and kind of like just relax a little bit, but you're still paying attention to where you're going. So we were sitting on the back, looking, get down the sides,
Cool.
taking turns, looking forward. But yeah, that was
All right.
that was a hell of a ride.
Well, guys, there you have it. Harold Valenzuela's testimonial on his Suzukis with the Grady-White, with the C-Star, with the Garmin, with the JL, with the Fisher Panda, with the Lumar windlass. Beautiful boat. Is it for sale?
Bueno.
Oh, no, not yet.
No,
Maybe.
I really like this boat.
Okay.
I really like the boat.
Okay.
I don't think so. But listen, money talks. You know how it is. Someone comes to give you a crazy deal, you're like,
Well, I'm gonna put pictures of the boat and some videos of the boat. If there's anybody interested, send me some numbers and I'll pass it to him. If he wants to do it, great. If not, great too. That's a great boat. So maybe in the future, what are we doing? 400s?
You know what? If one Suzuki does, it's not. Is it confirmed?
No, we don't know.
Are you
yet.
confirming something?
No. But are you married to Suzuki? You will not go
No,
Yamaha.
no.
You won't go Mercury.
Listen. Let's be honest.
Okay.
Suzuki right now, they're doing, what is it, like 7 years?
7-year warranty.
7-year warranty. Yamaha's not giving you 7 years. And Mercury's not giving you 7 years.
No. I think they have some options to purchase an extended warranty, if I'm not mistaken, but it's not included.
Okay, so that's one thing. Price point.
Yeah.
You're going to get more bang for your buck
Yeah.
and a good product from Suzuki. Now, Yamahas are very good motors.
Yeah.
Mercury, they're okay. I think they're overpriced, but they have a lot higher horsepower. So it all depends on what you.
They are racing motors.
They are racing motors.
They cater more to the racing.
Yes. So it all depends on the type of boat you have and what you need it for, and your scenario and what you want to spend. But for me, my personal opinion,
your personal
Suzuki's
opinion.
are running the market right now. Yamaha, I like Yamahas too. I had a bad experience with the 350s, but that doesn't mean that all Yamahas are bad. They're not. And they did perfect. The new 350. They did perfect it. Pero when it comes to, at the end of the day, it's like, am I going to spend X amount of money or am I going to spend this amount of money? And I
what
went with the Suzuki.
What about twin 400 Hondas? Oh, Honda's trying to make a push.
It is.
Honda's coming back.
And and I'll tell you, Honda makes great generators.
They do. And cars. And cars as well.
Yeah, I have one of those little Honda generators. That thing doesn't make it. You turn it on. Sometimes I was like, is it on?
No, yeah.
Is it on? Yeah, but they're Honda's good. Look at you don't see that many Hondas on the market. They're not.
They're big outside the country. And as a matter of fact, they're big up north too. Believe it or not, in the lakes and stuff like that. FWC uses them. The Coast Guard uses them. In Alaska, Honda's big. Outside the country, they're huge.
Yeah, but I'm not doing any boating in Alaska. I'm sorry.
Okay, well,
It's
it might
too
be
cold
too cold
for that.
It might be too cold. We could do a cruise to
No,
Alaska.
but it all depends on the type of boat you have. It all depends on your budget and what you're looking for. I was looking for reliability, fuel efficiency, and pricing.
Yeah.
And that's why I ended with the Suzukis, and I'm very happy with them. But if Yamaha wants to come around and they want to come up with some new deals, hey, anything's possible, man. This is a competitive world, man.
Anything's possible. Just like his boat, he might sell it. Anything is possible, okay? There's always possibilities. Thank you, Harold, for doing this interview and giving us your honest opinion on products that you have tested out yourself. Please make sure you see him or listen to him in 94.9. He works with Enrique Santos. He does a great job for them, and very funny guy, very nice guy. And congratulations on your boat.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Till next time, Atlantic Marine.